It is said that space is the final frontier. But I think that there's a frontier that's a little bit more final than the vastness of space and rocketing our spaceship through that. And that frontier is our mind. Or perhaps more accurately said, that frontier is consciousness and connecting to consciousness. It's said that consciousness is our true nature, that we can call it divinity, we can call it truth, we can call it home, we can call it our true yearning, that thing that drives us, that thing that we know exists within, but is almost unattainable. And I think that journey towards consciousness is a lot more perilous than all the space invaders and backstabbing and everything that Captain Kirk has to deal with. And so as we go along our path through identifying our true selves, the path of yoga or the path of spirituality on a wider basis, we have to explore different modalities within ourselves. And we get to experience different aspects of ourselves. And every experience we have has a value. So that experience of being incredibly stressed out, that experience of being blissfully in love, that experience of being incredibly hungry and hangry, and that experience of post-meal bliss and everything between, everything after is divine. And so we do have a value for space, and there is an importance to that final frontier that they say is space. Because in space, we're able to get closer to our true nature, to consciousness. And so today's class will be exploring space and exploring creating space within ourselves. Now, if you're a long-term practitioner of yoga, that probably means something to you, and there's probably going to be a, let's say, a direct experience that you have in class today. If you're a little bit newer to this practice or newer to this type of thinking about practice, what I'm going to encourage is letting yourself try to really sink into every pose. Try to sink into every experience. Instead of letting this narrate everything and judge everything and nitpick everything, try to receive, try to be quiet. Because in that quiet, truth is going to come out. And if not today, and today might be a very noisy practice, especially if you're trying to make quiet, which is one of those weird little paradoxes that we get in our yoga practice a lot. But try all the same. It's going to be a simple enough practice, about 30 minutes long. We're going to need a block. If you do not have a block, then a bolster can do fine, a couple pillows, a book that has a little bit of softness to it, something. You will be in supported bridge for most of class, or at least some variation thereof. So I'll guide you in the beginning. Feel free to press the pause button on your camera, I'm talking to the camera, on your YouTube to go and find something that'll work for you. I'll invite you to do this again when we get started. So space, creating space. And that's what I want you to talk about in the comments below. What does that mean to you? In terms of the theme that we've had running for quite a while, we'll continue to have the body's wisdom. How do you start to tap into the body's wisdom when you create space, when you honor space, when you honor quiet, when you let consciousness pervade? Hope you guys enjoy class. Any questions, comments, any input, type it down below and let's get started. All right, let's get started today. A block would be very handy if you have one. If you do not, a bolster will be good. You could use a pillow or two pillows or something block-like. But take some time, play around. You'll see where we can get started. Feel free to pause the video, find something that'll work, and then press the start button again and go forward with that. So where we'll get started today is in a supine bridge. Very nice and restorative. If you have a very flexible back, you could take a little bit more underneath the sacrum. I'm gonna go with just one block at its lowest setting. Take some time to find that position, especially when the body's a bit cold. It's a bit of a tricky area. You might get that little sciatic type of pain going. So take that time, settle in, and once you do, relaxing the arms, relaxing the eyes to a close, and allowing your body to melt. letting the chest be broad, letting the hips rest heavy, letting the feet relax heavy on the ground, and taking some really full inhales for the sole purpose of allowing for a really long, really relaxing exhale. What can you let go of with those exhales? How can you soften? How can you make space, especially mentally and emotionally? Finding a bit of ease, finding a little bit of space between thoughts. If you've been feeling a little scattered, a little anxious, a little foggy, this is a supreme opportunity to ground. So letting the muscles be heavy, letting the bones settle down by gravity. With every one of those long exhales, again, what can you let go of? If you feel a little bit of gripping, especially mentally, that might mean the thoughts rear back in. That might mean that the questions start chiming in. Can you let go? Can you try to find a little bit more space between those thoughts? Not through forcing, but through relaxing. It might help to create a little bit of softness across the forehead. To let there be some space between the eyebrows. To feel the jaw soften. Maybe if there's not too compression in the neck, you can take a swallow, releasing some tension, again around the jaw, the tongue, the neck. And even let the tongue go. Taking a few more breaths, maybe settling into a rhythm here. Allowing yourself to mentally get ready to enjoy some movement. As you're ready, begin to draw the right knee so very slowly into the chest. If you would like, you could take your hands around the shin, giving a gentle squeeze, staying on the block or on the support underneath the hips. Taking a few moments, feeling the right side of the stomach press into the thigh with those inhales. Using that compression between the stomach and thigh to invite a full exhale. And perhaps you notice with every exhale, as there's some more space, that knee very gently and naturally comes into the chest a little further. Not through forcing, but a very natural, easy process. Allow both hands to come behind that right thigh. And then taking that right thigh away from you so that right thigh bone is almost parallel to the ground. And a few times here, with the exhale, slowly does it, right leg towards straight. With the inhale, bending it in. Going back and forth, letting this be slow. Good. Next time the leg is straight, keep it there. Release the arms out to the side. If it's available, flex through that right foot and right ankle. So it's like that right heel is driving up. That right knee can be as bent as you'd like it to be. And then slowly does it. Begin to extend that right leg long. So you have a straight line from that right heel, right knee, right hip, all the way to the right shoulder. Pressing that right foot actively away from you, like you're trying to step on the wall away from you. And a few times with the breath, exhale, lifting that right leg up. Inhale, lowering it down as far down as you would like. Maybe if it feels okay, that right heel grazes the ground. And going back and forth. Next time the right leg lifts, keep it there. Once again, press that leg away. If there's a little bit of heat being created, that's great. And then draw that right knee in towards the chest. That right hand can come atop of the knee or it can stay to the side. Begin to draw some circles with that right hip, as wide or as shallow as you would like. Next time the knee is in towards the chest, switch directions. And you have this pesky left leg in the way, and that's totally fine. You might not get that wide range of rotation you're used to, and that is okay. Good. Next time that knee is on in, let it stay there. And you're going to bend or twist at that right hip. Take that right shin directly underneath that left knee. Pressing that right shin firmly down into the top of that left knee, left thigh. Press that left foot down onto the ground. Draw the triceps onto the ground. Pinch the shoulders together. And a few times here, Pressing into that left leg. Exhale, lift the hips off the block. Inhale, lower back down, relax the legs. Back and forth with the breath. Perhaps here you don't actually lift the hips off the support, that's fine. Just engage here. That'll still do the trick. Nice. Next time the hips are lifted, stay there. Keep the triceps pressing down. Keep that left foot pressing down. Keep that left glute engaged, pressing that left hip on up. Few breaths. Keep space with the breath. Keep space between the thoughts, especially if it gets hard. Next exhale, lower the hips down. Once again, make sure they're settled on that prop underneath. And ever so slowly, draw that left knee in, taking a figure 4 pose. Maybe reaching for the left shin, behind the left thigh, maybe keeping the hands wide. The nice thing about the block here is it encourages a nice deep stretch for that right glute. And I know you're gonna get tired of me saying it, but it's the same thing here. Create space. In that right piriformis, in that right glute, in that right hip, let there be space. Those exhales facilitate it. Next inhale, coming back to that starting position in bridge pose. Take those feet wide, about mat width apart, toes gently point in, let the knees knock together. Arms can stay wide, or if it feels good for you, you can take one hand over the heart center, the other hand over the navel, and breathe here, feeling the torso expand with those inhales. Feeling yourself release, relax with those exhales. Even here, creating space in the diaphragm for more breath. Creating space between thoughts. Creating space to settle into the pose. Quietness. Let's get back to that bridge pose. Heels underneath the knees. If you have to readjust on that prop, please do. And now from this point, begin to draw that left knee in towards the chest, maybe hugging the arms around the shin. And then taking some time here. Inhales, exhales, letting that thigh gently reach in towards the chest. Wonderful. Both hands interlace behind that left thigh, taking that left thigh bone perpendicular to the ground. Exhales, left leg gently towards straight, towards the ceiling. Inhales to bend. Back and forth. Next time that left leg reaches towards the ceiling, keep it there. Flexing at the toes, flexing at the ankle. Feel free to bend the knee to take some of the stretch out. But reaching left ankle away from left hip, even if the left knee is bent. Next time the inhale comes, slowly drawing that leg forward and down. Maybe the heel grazes the ground. Exhale to lift that leg straight up. Back and forth. Pace of your breath, nice and smooth, nice and slow. Keep making space from that left heel to that left hip. Good, next time the leg reaches up, keep it there for a moment. Then bend at the knee, rotate at the hip, so then that left shin comes right underneath that right knee. Pressing that left shin actively into that right thigh. Press the right foot down into the ground, heel underneath the knee, triceps onto the ground, shoulders pinched together. Next time the exhale comes, lift the hips. Inhales lower. Back and forth. Next time the hip lifts, staying there. Lowering the hips down and ever so gently drawing that right knee in towards the chest. Figure four again. Maybe you hold on to that shin, maybe the arms reach wide. Relaxing here, creating space in the stretch, creating space in the experience, creating space in the time of this pose. So instead of wondering what's next, enjoying each and every sensation and each and every moment of pleasure and the light that waits for him. The fall. Next exhale, slowly unwinding. One last thing while we're here, again, readjust if you need to. Once again, where we were, feet about mat width apart, toes knock in, knees knock in, hand over the heart and navel if that feels good for you. Lovely. Feet back underneath the knees. Taking the triceps down one more time, shoulders pinch together, feet press into the ground. Lift the hips up off the prop if available, holding here in bridge pose. Where can space be created? Shins press forward in space, chest in towards chin, hips lift up. Finding space from the knees to the neck. If this gets challenging here, where can you find the space to relax? If there's a prop underneath you, which I'm betting there is, take that over to the side, please. And very, 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 very slowly, spine furls onto the ground. Sacrum relaxes down. And so slowly, knees in towards the armpits. Once the knees get there, feet up towards the ceiling, keep the knees bent, reaching up for your happy baby pose. If it feels good to rock side to side, you are always welcome to do so. Otherwise, settling in. Sometimes it feels nice to hold happy baby. You can get a good grip over the feet or the shins. And just letting gravity do the work. All you need to do is create space. Gravity will push down, will accentuate the stretch and accentuate the experience. Delightful. Slowly does it, knees into chest. Taking your hands around that right shin, either placing the left foot on the ground or extending it all the way down onto the mat. Your choice based on your openness in the right hamstring. You can either reach using your peace sign fingers for the big toe, reaching that right leg straight up. If you have a heavy bend in your knee like I do, that's fine. You can also interlace the hands behind that right thigh, reaching up. My hamstrings are always very tight, so wherever you are is fine. Good, next exhale, draw that right knee into the chest again. Take the left hand on that left hand on the right shin, right by the right knee. Taking the right hand out to the side and twisting over towards the left. Slowly does it draw that right knee in towards the chest. Take that left knee in as well. Give yourself a few little rotations with the knees. Going the other direction. Let's get ready for side number 2. Extending that right leg long, where the knee bends, the right foot's down, whatever you did on the other side. Either grabbing the left big toe with the peace sign fingers or around the back of that left thigh, and finding your hamstring stretch here. Next exhale, begin to draw that left knee in towards the chest. Right hand by the left knee, left arm out to the left, twisting over towards the right. Next inhale, slowly back to center. Drawing both knees in, give yourself a bit of a squeeze, rolling side to side. And then extend both legs straight up towards the ceiling. Slowly lower them down so that the heels come towards the bottom edges of the mat. Take your arms down towards the ground, about 45 degrees between the torso and the arms, and allowing yourself to sink into Shavasana. Allow the breath to expand as we've been doing, creating space in the diaphragm through the breath. Begin to bring some small movements into hands and feet. Wrists and ankles. And however you want to get there, find your way to one side of your body. Pressing the hands into the ground, find your way up to a comfortable seated position, taking your time as always to get there. And once you find that position, hands can relax onto the lap, crown of the head can reach tall, shoulders relax down the spine. I know this practice means different things to different people at different times. So if you feel inclined, I invite you to continue exploring space. Watching the space between the breath. Watching the space between the thoughts. The space between the words that the internal commentator says. And even the space between the layers of the mind, the layers of commentators, the layers of witnesses. If you're off to continue your day, then I'll sign off with you. Otherwise, enjoy your meditation. As it said, the light and divinity within me honors and reveres the light and divinity within you. Namaste.